Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another StarCraft commentary. And we just saw Light and Shine on your screen right there. And we got another ASL not really preview video for you guys today, because these two gentlemen are going to be fighting it out in the ASL in actually like a couple hours from when this game is going up online, basically. So this is pretty exciting because these are, again, two pretty old school guys that are still playing many years later. This is from 2009, this game that we're playing right now, and they weren't even new in 2009, so they've been playing for a long time. But this is a game from 12 years ago. Does it have any ability to predict who will win in the games that are tonight? Absolutely none at all, but it's kind of fun to think about it, you know? And so that's why I've been kind of taking a look at the old school days of some of the folks that are playing in the ASL, the Africa Star League, coming up, and that's been pretty fun to do. So hope you guys are into it as well. Yeah, and again, if you don't know these guys, and I say that because they're both pretty well known, especially nowadays. But, you know, some people like me were living under a rock, an esports rock, for many years. And so they lost track of people. So, and, you know, I've kind of lost track of these guys myself. So, anyway, very strong players is the point. Actually, both in the old days and the new days. Shine, actually, I kind of like had forgotten about him. I knew he was a strong player, but I didn't realize he actually got to the semifinals of the Ever OSL. So very strong to get there. And he got into round 16 a couple Star Leagues. He got into the top 8 of the TVing OSL as well. So very strong player back in this era. Actually, I guess going into this game is going into the era that he was kind of strong, I guess. He was still strong in 2009, but anyway, Light, now, of course, Shine got second place in the ASL Season 3, which was 3 or 4 years ago now, so don't know if that's a huge predictor, but anyway, he's still a very strong presence in the scene, and I think he's got a good chance of getting into the round of 16. His group is Shine and Light, obviously, and Ruin and Saurian. I don't know much about those two other guys, but you know, I don't recognize them as being super strong names, at least off the top of my head. So anyway, we got Shine. I'm sorry, we got Shine versus Light, who is considered to be one of the top Terrans in the world in 2021. Actually, I would say he was probably like top 5 even in 2009. You know, you had your Flash, your Fantasy, you had your tip-top Star League winner players, and then you had a few players that were like really strong that weren't going to win a Star League, but they were still the top, you know, 5 or maybe 10 of their race. Oh, is he gonna actually get that drone? I think he needs 2 hits to get it. Now it's healed up enough, it's gonna need 3 hits, so looks like that's gonna survive long enough to turn into a hatchery. 3 hatcheries, interesting. Not going for that her third at another base though, but that's pretty prudent on the in this situation versus Terran. Anyway, so Light was probably like a top 5 Terran back in the day. Again, didn't really get far in any Star Leagues though. He got to the top 8 of a few Star Leagues. He actually did get to the semifinals once of the Big Foul MSL, and he lost to Jadong. So no skin off his teeth there. Well, that's not the right, I don't know. Anyway, very strong player, and losing to Jadong in the semifinals is still a strong showing. He actually took 2 games off Jadong too. It was a 3-2 finish, so. Anyway, so Light pretty strong back then and is now considered to be one of the top Terrans nowadays. Came in second in ASL Season 9 just about a year ago. So both of these guys strong contenders to go far in the ASL, especially with Larva and Flash out of it. You know, 2 of the top players, the 2 of the past winners in recent years, are no longer ASL contenders, and so these 2 guys, either one of them could go pretty far in the ASL. So anyway, getting into this game here that we're watching, oh, is he gonna get it? No, he's not gonna get another kill there. It's a nice placement on that sunken colony, actually. But we have 2 starports for Light, by the way. 2 starports going down, or already down, producing rates. I was kind of, again, half paying attention to the start of the game, to be honest. I want to make sure I got the info out about these 2 players, kind of set the stage for them and make sure everyone kind of knew who they were. but that's a Hydra's done as well. So it's interesting that he's kind of like, he's gotten the Vulture, and that's forced the Sunken Colony, but I don't know if he knows that these Wraiths are coming, but he might have got the Hydra done because he's predicting more Vultures. And so he might want to get a few Hydras for that. And so in showing the Vulture, he got 1 kill of 1 drone, but he might have actually forced Shine into Hydralisks, which might end up going against Light's plan here with these Wraiths. He's going to get some free kills. Look at this. He's actually going to... Yeah, I think that makes sense. Leave the Overlord for now. See what other damage you can do first. That Overlord's still going to be there later. You need to check for the Spire, too. Now, what is going on here? There's actually a huge... Oh, my gosh. He might get this depot before he can bring anything over, and there's only 2 Marines because he's gotten all these Wraiths. The SCV's been pulled off, but they're too late to actually save it. He's actually got this Wraith on attack move because he's microing his butt off back home to try and survive, and so it looks like one of those Wraiths might have died. It looks like he did pull it back after all. So he's going to be able to, like, eventually clean up these Zerglings because Wraiths and Vultures, especially the Vulture, actually, is going to do more to kill these Zerglings than the Wraiths are. Wraiths are just so slow to kill things on the ground. But, wow, kind of a little bit of an oversight. Getting all of this tech off of 2 Marines. 2 Marines to protect himself. And nothing at his front door either, because he's going for this Wraith Gambit. And, so a little bit of a break in there, and Shine ends up getting several SCV kills and a couple of Marine kills as well, and he's just softened up Light right now. Light now might lose a Marine. It looks like he is not going to lose that Marine. He's going to pull it back some time, but Wraith's trying to kill drones, and they're doing a good job of it. Looks like he's got actually enough Wraiths that he can actually one-shot drones in that clump, so that's pretty strong there. But these Hydras are now attacking the front. They're both attacking each other's bases without as much regard to their own defense, and he's going to try and get some of these SCVs as well. And without any tanks, Light just doesn't have anything to really deal with this. He kind of almost needs a bunker. There's a tank popping out now, but even that one tank without siege mode, which I don't think it has, is not necessarily going to be enough to push back these Hydras. Although with the position on the top of that ramp, I think it will be, because the Hydras could kind of dance back into a place. If it was on flat ground, they could dance back. Oh, look at that. Nice. Maybe it's 2 shots for a drone, actually, with the amount of Wraiths he has. Okay, he only has a few Wraiths. I thought he had more there, but it must have been... When I saw him pop a drone earlier, I think it must have been the 2nd shot, I guess. Anyway, if it was on flat ground, those Hydras could kind of toy back and forth, try and go for the tank, fall back, attack the building, go for the tank, etc. But with that ramp there, that one tank's gonna be enough damage to force the Hydras back. Is he gonna try and take the low ground and take his expansion? Is a question here. Looks like, okay, there is a command center almost finished on the high ground there, but he's gonna have to worry about potential Mutalisks. I think he must know that this Spire is about to pop. Oh, and his solution is Cloak. Whoa, he needs to be careful not to lose those Wraiths, because those Wraiths, once they get Cloak, are the only thing that are going to keep him alive. Oh, look at this. He's trying to pick off drones. The Spore Colony is a nice addition there. So Shine is pretty much safe now from these Wraiths. He's got the Spire popping, so you can get Scourge out. Now, when I say he's safe from the Wraiths, I mean he's safe from the Wraiths attacking him at home. He still has to worry about the Wraiths out in the field, because I don't know if he has speed upgrade for his Overlords yet, and even if he does, he might end up losing Overlords. The Wraiths can pick them off, and then use the Cloak, of course, to go after whatever's on the ground or the air. So he's got to be a little bit cautious here. But let's see. Yeah, there's no Overlords in the area, actually. So he must know Cloak is coming, right? The Scourge are flying in. They're looking for targets. And it looks like they're going to find a turret. And they're going to be like, all right, well, we're here to die anyway. Let's just try and see if we can get some kills against these Wraiths. 4 Scourge dying, I think. 3 or 4 Scourge dying to turrets fire without landing on a target. Not very successful there. He probably should have seen that turret and just fallen back altogether, to be honest. Siege mode is up now. He's got some tanks here. So he's got you just need very few tanks with siege mode. And if you have good SimCity to push back a lot of Hydralisks. So Light is pretty safe with taking the low ground right now. Again, because he can use those Wraiths to kind of micro against Mutalisks. He's got a couple turrets around as well, so he's in good shape right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shine took a 3rd base right now. that would kind of be my expectation. In fact, are we seeing that up at the 11 o'clock position? No, it's actually a vulture patrolling that spot to make sure he doesn't take a third. So kind of a low econ situation here. Oh, now he's got enough. He can pick off drones. Can't pick off overlords that quickly though. He can outrun them though. He can outrun them. And there he cloaks. He's going to try and turn the tables onto the Mutalisks, and Mutalisks are flying monsters, so they don't even use tables, so it's not going to work. Light putting up turrets around here as well. This is going to be tricky. It's going to be very tricky. He's going to have to micro his butt off. He's going to have to keep close eye on where the overlords are, because he's only going to be, he has to depend on these wraiths entirely, the cloaked wraiths, to deal with these Mutalisks. And look at this. This is kind of nice. He's actually targeting the Mutalisks. He has to be worried about the Scourge, but he's like, well, if there's no overlords here at the moment, I'm going to go ahead and fall back, or go ahead and attack the Mutalisks, because those are the main threat. He's dodging in and out here. The overlords are in position. He should be following more closely. He probably should be actually have those overlords tacked onto the Mutalisks as a follow command or something like that. The Scourge are now catching on. One lands, but there's not enough to really kill that many wraiths. The turret's doing a lot of damage to these Mutalisks as they try and dodge around and kill off the wraiths, and it looks like they're going to be forced to retreat. Only 3 or 4 Mutalisks left there, and that means the wraiths get a slaughter, an absolute slaughter, as they follow these overlords out of his base. And absolute slaughter is apparently 3. So maybe not absolute slaughter, just like a very minor slaughter, I suppose. But it was a lot of damage done by killing off some overlords there, and of course, obviously killing off all of the Scourge and Mutas that he picked off as well. Didn't really seem to lose a lot of wraiths. It was hard for me to keep track of how many wraiths he actually lost there, but it didn't look like many. And he's continuing to produce these wraiths, also repairing the ones that are injured. So it is a sheer air battle here, ladies and gentlemen. Where is the Valkyrie, though? He needs a Valkyrie, I think, to mix in with this. Would be a really good idea in order to deal with these Mutalisks. But this is 2009, and so Valkyries are still pretty rare things to bust out at this point in the meta, so probably not likely we'll see the Valkyries, to be honest. But let's see if I can once again speak backwards through time to Light from 12 years ago and see if he'll listen to my advice from the 2021 meta. Anyway, yeah, so some Hydras popping in here to die. That's kind of cool. But they're trying to pick off a turret. If you can sacrifice a few ground units to take out turrets, that's a good move. He wants to be able to try and clear things up there. I mean, it's just really interesting. So, like, I feel like without the turrets around as backup, the Wraiths are a little bit too flimsy to really maintain a ton of map control. Oh, he's stuck a base in the top right. So that's a good move, actually. It's a long ways away. So it's kind of become an air battle, though, because like he's forced to get Hydralisks against these Wraiths. Oh, nice picks. Oh, but he's gonna get counter-picked here. And cloaks to avoid too much damage. Runs right into some Overlords, which he's actually gonna kill. Where are the Mutas? Oh, 3 free Overlord kills by those Wraiths right after they cloaked as well. He should have seen them heading up towards his Overlords and chased maybe. But maybe he's worried about taking too much damage. Nice Spore Colony rather. Coming in on that third base. It's going to get found out. He might actually be able to kill it. He might have enough raids he can just kill that Spore. Just outright. Looks like he's going to try. He didn't try quick enough, so he's actually going to take some significant damage there. If he targeted the Spore first, he could have gotten it down a third of its health before it actually spawned in. Anyway, probably the best choice to just not deal with that Spore. He gets a couple drones, exits, but he's got to do something about that, because if all it takes is one Spore to basically stop him from having control of an area, Light has to do something else to deal with those extra bases going up, because if there's a third up with a significant amount of drones, it's probably gonna be a fourth up before too long. Well, we'll see. I guess Light's only on 2 bases right now. We'll see. Anyway, pick off that Scourge. He's shifting back into Bio now. Interesting. He's already got +1 weapons on his Marines also. Where's he stimming to? That was a little bit of a weird stim. I guess he's like, he really, really wanted to get over there and do towards that neutral building to knock it down, the neutral temple. Oh, is he gonna trap him here? The Wraiths are trapped if they go south. The Mutas are there if they go north. It's the enemy base, and he's just gonna go east instead and pick off another free Overlord. He's getting a lot of free Overlords here. He must have, yeah, of course he has Overlord speed, but Oh, that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna take the base up there, of course. I forgot to go over the map at the beginning. I was too busy caught up in the stats, not stats the Protoss player, but statistics of the players and their backgrounds and what have you. And these Wraiths are being so annoying. Look at that double kill with the Wraith micro. Very nicely done. Staying out of range of the... Oh, what is going on here? Is this a drop? Is this a Hydra drop? Oh no, he must know that these Marines are here. Lurkers are being dropped now as well, actually. Scourge alongside. This is a very nice situation. The tanks are not in position to deal with this. However, he does have the tanks, and he has a science vessel, so he can theoretically deal with this, but not before he targets down one of the starports. Another starport is going to go down as well. He's going to get the Lurkers down in amongst the... well, next to the barracks, actually. But it looks like, yeah, with the science vessel there and some tank fire going on as well, it looks like Light is going to clean this up pretty easily. If we take stock of the damage done, lost a significant number of Marines, 2 starports. Losing both our starports is kind of significant because he was just starting to shift into the science vessel production. He's not actually done yet. I thought he was going to clean up, but it looks like Light ran out of Marines. The tanks are not relocating fast enough. He's actually going to put some Lurkers into the mineral line here and take out some SCVs. And actually, what is Light doing? Well, he returned his SCVs too quickly when he thought it was cleaned up. Ends up losing 3 or 4 extra SCVs to those last Lurker shots, and could have lost more if they'd gotten one more set of spines out. It would have been pretty catastrophic. But he does clean it up, finally. I think that was a pretty effective attack, but it's hard to really tell what the situation is there right now. I think Shine does need a 4th base here pretty soon. He's going to start mining out his main pretty soon. Light, of course, is going to start mining out his main soon as well. It's kind of fun that he's able to just put his starport right back on that control tower that's sitting there from before. Any case, Light now I tried to say move and push out at the same time, and I said mushing out on the map. Light now pushing out on the map to try and, again, kind of get some control of the map. Is Shine going to counterattack against his natural? He actually ran his SCVs in anticipation. Actually, those SCVs might be heading to the 3rd. Not sure where they were going, but it looked like Light flinched for sure. He flinched. He was worried about that situation. Oh, there's the Defiler Mound. I think that's Shine's goal right now. If he can get Defiler Tech, that's really going to secure this for him, because those Wraiths, one plague on those Wraiths is going to just completely render them pretty much useless. They're already paper airplanes, but they'll be like paper airplanes on fire. Oh, he's going to lose a couple Wraiths here? Loses one, almost loses a second. But he is actually able to get those Marines up into the top right here. And actually, this is a little bit of a blunder by Shine not stopping this. He was kind of running around the middle map, and now he's actually going to get stopped from getting up into this base, and now Light has a very advantageous position. He actually could have tried to fall back and held the top of that ramp, which would have been a superior spot. Instead, he kind of stayed with his forces up north to make sure the hatchery finished, tried to go after some of the drones as well. So as a result, he's not going to be nearly as efficient as he could be with that group of Marines. So they're all going to die. He still has these Wraiths roaming around the map, though. Still a significant number. He's got like 8 or 10 Wraiths or something like that still. So, anyway, he's actually going to mine the back of those minerals. That is interesting. I guess he just feels like he just can't, he doesn't have enough map control to really push around and take control of the front of those minerals, where he would be able to get the gas as well. So this makes a lot of sense, actually. It's a really strong spot. You've got a wall of minerals. It's actually impenetrable. No amount of Zerglings can break through that, right? So he can actually just keep tanks behind those minerals and be pretty impregnable. Obviously, drops could come down and drop stuff all over those tanks, which would be pretty catastrophic. He has had the hive for a while, so he probably has... Actually, I don't know if he would have the adrenal glands yet, since he's not really making any Zerglings. He's using his money for Hydralisks at this point. So he may not have the adrenal glands upgrade, but either way, just a thought that, you know, dropping cracklings on top of tanks is pretty devastating. Pretty pro strat. And in anticipation of that, it looks like he's getting some fire bats, actually. He's probably also in anticipation just in general of the Devourer attack. Once there's swarms in play, you want to have at least a few things that can attack underneath those swarms. especially because in this situation, you might end up having a place where the Hydralisks are underneath the swarm, and if you can get Fire Bats underneath, they will actually be immune to the Hydralisk fire, and have a stronger position here. Okay, what's going on here? He knows this base is here. He's going to try and go in. He sends in Zerglings to take the tank fire. Then he runs in the Lurkers, puts a swarm on top of them. Beautiful play. And Light is forced to run all of the SCVs away from that mining position. Just absolutely beautiful spot there. It looks like the Lurkers are going to get cleaned up pretty quickly, even though they're underneath a swarm. The tanks and irradiates are going to be able to deal with it. But now the counterattack up into Shine's natural expansion. This could be really bad. He doesn't seem to have a lot of stuff here. He's targeting down the Nidus, so he can't get reinforcements quickly from his other bases. And this might actually be a killing blow right here. The Defiler's been raided. It's forced to fall back. With no Lurkers underneath that swarm, these Marines are actually going to be able to come underneath. There's like 3 or 4 Lurkers ready to morph. Actually, those might be eggs. Oh, those. Okay, some of them were eggs from the hatchery that died. Some of them were Lurkers, but it looks like they're probably going to die very quickly. No, he actually is able to get them burrowed, but they're not underneath the Dark Swarm. And there's the GG as Shine loses his natural and falls prey to the counterattack there. And wow, I mean, that's kind of crazy. A crazy strat there by Light. Going for those early rates, it almost cost him because then he didn't have a front door really. But it was a pretty cool move, and ended up winning them the game, I think, because those wraiths were just so ever present on the map that look at this. This is pretty far into the game, and Shine is still just getting up, barely getting up a third. And he never got a fourth up the entire game. Now, Light never really got a third up himself, so not having a fourth is not as huge of a deal for Shine, but it's just an awkward position, not having any map control because of those wraiths, and just was never quite able to really shut them down. Even when he had a lot of Hydras and he was roaming around the map with Hydras and Overlords, the wraiths were just too mobile, and he was just kind of going around picking things off where he could. Randomly, when the wraiths are off in the middle of the map, he was attacking a sunken colony at the natural expansion, stuff like that. So, picking off a lot of Overlords. He probably killed a dozen Overlords with those wraiths, and at least half of them were free without taking any return damage from Mulisks or anything like that. So, anyway, very nicely played. Again, these guys are going to be in the next group of the ASL, and it's going to be played in a few hours from when this hits YouTube. But the Tastosis cast probably won't go up for a few days after that. And I should have mentioned this before, but just to clarify, Light and Shine are not necessarily even going to play against each other, because Light's first game is against Ruin, Shine's first game is against Sorry. If they both win, which is somewhat likely, they may end up facing off in the winners match against each other, or hypothetically in the losers match or the final match or something like that. So it's definitely still possible for them to end up facing each other, even though it's not their first game. Yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. GG.